always tell me, kid, are you a red? Well, I didn't know just what he meant. My hair back then was brown. Our house was plain and yellow like the others in the town. So I went and asked my mama why our neighbor called me red. She sat me down upon her knee and this is what she said. Well, you ain't done nothing if you ain't been called a red. If you marched or agitated, then you're bound to hear it said. So you might as well ignore or learn to love the word instead. 'Cause you ain't been doing nothing if you ain't been called a red. Well, I moved into the city with a good friend that I had. We had a lousy, rotten landlord, let me tell you, he was bad. But when he tried to throw us out, I clapped my hands and said, you haven't seen a struggle if you haven't fought a red. And you ain't done nothing if you ain't been called a red. If you marched or agitated, then you're bound to hear it said. So you might as well ignore or learn to love the word instead. 'Cause you ain't been doing nothing if you ain't been called a red. Well, I kept on organizing because what else can you do? Are you gonna let these sons of bitches walk all over you? I'll fight for liberation, and as far as I can see, if that's what being red is, then it's good enough for me. And you ain't done nothing if you ain't been called a red. If you marched or agitated, then you're bound to hear it said. So you might as well ignore and learn to love the word instead. 'Cause you ain't been doing nothing if you ain't been called a ain't been called a red. In the morning when I leave my den, I moisturize with the tears of men. Stir my tea with a crucifix. I'm an ugly, nasty commie bitch. In the evening when I'm on the rag, just rip up a couple of American flags. Take a nice hot bath in the blood of the rich. I'm an ugly, nasty commie bitch. I try to think, but it hurts my brain, so I have an abortion and I find champagne. I'm a Jezebel, I'm a wicked witch. I'm an ugly, nasty commie bitch. Weekends when what's some fun? Castrate a man, take away his gun, drive a classic car into a ditch. I'm an ugly, nasty commie bitch. Well, I know I am, but what are you? Some fascist bootlick Nazi tool, a whiny boy with a tiny dick, or a dumb fuck redneck backward hick. Did I get it right? Did I peg you yet? Maybe we don't know, we ain't met. Maybe nobody wins but the already rich. If you're a dumb redneck, your mama commie bitch. Seem like bad news all the time. We got blood and fires and wars and crime. They try to tell me who I ought to blame, but I know who it is, 'cause it's always the same. But don't be ashamed if you get confused when you talk to your friends or you watch the news. They try to tell you where it all went wrong. Now you don't need to argue, just sing this song. It was rich people stacking the deck, rich people with big fat checks, rich people, they're having a ball, rich people been fucking us all. Back in 1979, the Western world was in decline. So Ronald Reagan and Thatcher too, well, they fixed it right up, but not for you, just for rich people stacking the deck, rich people with big fat checks, rich people, they're having a ball, rich people been fucking us all now. no dues. Who did the crime? It ain't the blacks. Rich people don't pay no taxes. Who took your job? It ain't immigration. It's rich people with corporations. And who threw the vote? It ain't rednecks. Rich people with big fat checks. Rich people stacking the deck. Rich people with big fat checks. Rich people having a ball now. Rich people just fucking us all. Rich people stacking the deck. Rich people with their big fat checks. Rich people, they're having a ball. Rich people been fucking us all.
Oh, there it is. Hello, comrades. Good morning. Welcome to Sunday Fun Day. Hello, everyone. Oh, I can turn. The game source has an audio volume now. The game source is fixed, comrades. There's usually an audio volume, and I haven't had it, but there's a game source audio volume now. I gave them matching armor sets again. The armor is dyed pink. The boots are dyed. Everything is dyed. They're wearing matching pink armor. Here's Lazel. Here's Shadowheart. The pink dye made her boots brown. Of course. This makes no sense, but we will live with it. This is what Shadowheart is. Let's go over their builds right now. What is this? I need that on. Probably. We're gonna change Shadowheart's build here in just a second. My hand's broken. Everyone ignore my typos today. Oh, comrades, there's new nails. And it has been so much easier typing since I've got my new nails, but new nails. Here are this month's nails. Matte red and chunky gold glitter. Red and gold. I was thinking communism for this one. I was just thinking red and gold communism. We're about to change Shadowheart's build, so let's just go over it really quick. We're going to keep essentially the function of the build. Welcome in. Oh, by the way, welcome in everyone. Smash, Ghost in This Hell, Autistic Fatty 3, thank you for being here with me this morning. Hello. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the creche and probably do the whole creche today. And kill everyone in the creche. But Shadowheart currently has the adamantine splint armor. She has the boots of stormy clamor, gloves of archery. We can probably get her a better amulet. We can probably get her an amulet that she can make better use of. But right now she has this amulet of restoration. We're gonna give Flawed Helldusk armor. So Shadowheart is an archer. And the whole thing that we're doing here with Shadowheart is stealth archery. We're using the Titan String Bow, which does 5 to 12 damage for Shadowheart base damage. The Titan Weapon ability gives it additional damage equal to your Strength modifier. Shadowheart's Strength is 8, but we have it set to 19 because we're wielding the Club of Hill Giant Strength, which has the effect Splinters of a Giant's Might increases Strength to 19. So now, because our Strength is at 19, we will do extra Strength damage because of the Titan String Bow's special ability, which does damage based on your Strength modifier. We also have the Boots of Stormy Clamor, Arcane Echo Malefaction. When the wearer inflicts a condition upon a hostile creature, they also inflict 2 turns of reverberation. These boots are broken. This effect here, Arcane Echo Malefaction, when the wearer inflicts a condition upon a hostile creature, everything is considered a condition. everything is considered a condition in this game. And so you apply a lot of reverberation. Find It Lesbian is a productive finder of things. They are constantly finding what they're looking for and always moving on to the next. They do not rest. They keep pushing. Progress doesn't rest, comrades. You must always search for the next. Everything is considered a condition. When you miss with an arrow, it applies a hidden condition that you cannot see, and the game registers that hidden condition as a condition and inflicts 2 turns of reverberation. So when you miss an attack, you're still applying reverberation. Reverberation. Affected entity has a -1 penalty to strength, dexterity, and constitution saving throws per remaining turn. So the more of this they have, the more easily Lae'zel can push people off of the cliff, because they have -1 for every turn that they have of it. When the entity has 5 or more turns of reverberation, it takes 1 to 4 thunder damage and possibly falls prone. This condition is removed afterwards. If they fall prone, it skips their turn. Skipping turns is good. We have gloves that do more damage with our arrow. We have a couple things. These rings are going to change because we're going to go get some frost gear and make her into a stealth frost archer. So the rings aren't important. Lae'zel is going to be a monoclass Battlemaster fighter. So we're just going to give her all the good stuff. She has the Bow of Awareness, which increases initiative, which means that she'll go first more often. She is a Githyanki, so the Sword of the Astral Plane is going to give all of its special effects to us. Githborn Psionic Weapon. When wielded by a Githyanki, this weapon deals an additional 1 to 6 psychic damage. Githborn Psionic Resistance. A Githyanki holding this weapon has advantage on intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saving throws, resistance to psychic damage, and cannot be charmed. It has this ability here, Soulbreaker. It does 16 to 34 damage just as an ability, and you can possibly stun whoever you're hitting with it. It is a Constitution saving throw. We have pretty high Constitution. We'll make it higher eventually. We stole the armor from Raphael early, so we have 21 AC, so we're hard to hit. Our AC right now is actually 22 because we also have the Cloak of Protection, so we can get in close and do a lot of damage. Flawed Helldusk Gloves will add 1 to 4 fire damage to our weapon attacks. And then we're also wearing the Caustic Band. We just do big, strong, hard hits. So now, our goal is to get to Moonrise Towers. And so we need the Pixie to do that. And so we're going to go get the Pixie. So we can continue shopping at Moonrise Towers. Once we get to Moonrise Towers,
to your very good health.
We will bring Astarion out of the Box of Friends. Astarion will come out of the Box of Friends temporarily, just so that we can make Lae'zel super strong, and then Lae'zel is going to go back into the box. Or Astarion is going to go back into the Box of Friends.
Parasite is changing you, isn't it? Look around. If we're to survive, I have we tracked them to this ancient village, only to be general. He was we met. You are that hope. Protected by. Find out. Once Gedrick is without his shield, the sword. You're beside any whatever magic. Get your. She's up. Isabel.
So now that we've talked to, we're just not going to talk to Isabel. Now that we've talked to Jaheira, the Harpers are going to get ready to go find the lantern that makes it possible to travel through the extra Shadowlands, the super dark Shadowlands. Because there's 2 stages of the Shadow Curse. There's the Shadow Curse, and then there's the super Shadow Curse. And just having a torch isn't good enough to go into the super Shadow Curse. You need the pixie spell. We're gonna bring the Harpers, just because they essentially are meat shields. They're sponges. But my goal is to intimidate the spider into giving me the lamp and then walk away, because I like to fight them when they're cursed, as opposed to when he has Sanctuary. Sanctuary makes it really difficult. I'm going to, just because, I'm going to give some elixirs out for the day. I think we rested. I have a little bit more strength will help. Elixir of Bloodlust will help. Always put your archer where you want them. Put the archer where you want them first. Your first job before you start anything is place your archer. Then you start it.
Go.
If you stay hidden right here, you can have this goblin out of the fight if the fight starts. One less is one less. Then you make yourself known.
The Driders are your minds connect.
Spider guy kinda is gender envy.
Whispering to you.
W
The
spiders.
absolute, or just the
Of your true souls, my queen. You bless them too, my queen. Where? Yes.
Intimidation. The Absolute has asked me to carry the lantern. Hand it over. We have intimidation proficiency. Welcome in, London's best gay. Our goal is to roll over a 14. We rolled a 7. We rolled a 7, comrades. Okay, we have 4 inspirations. We rolled a 2. We rolled a 4. A 4. We got 4 inspirations. We're gonna waste all our inspirations. I don't like this fight. We're gonna waste all our inspirations on this. I don't like this fight. Watch me roll low. Oh? This is 14. W. Made it. Literally just made it.
Majesty.
Shadowheart liked it. Shadowheart likes it. Good. You may go now.
We can't go without you. The shadows will tear us to pieces.
This is not our Majesty's will.
Intimidation. The Absolute wants you to go. Now. I thought it only a 14. 14 feels low for go walk to your death, right? 14 feels low for this roll. I would make this a DC 16 at least. We got a couple more. Come on. Up. 14 up, 14 up. Let's do it. One more. Last chance, comrades. Nope. He did put the... He put the lamp down. Oh, she's not where she's supposed to be. Can't climb. So he has Sanctuary. This is why I hate this one. He has Sanctuary. Sanctuary means that until he hits someone, you can't hit him directly, which means you have to pull a bunch of nonsense to do damage to this guy. Who can I target is the question. I might have to put Shadowheart out even further. Where is the lamp? Right there.
Better finish the fight first.
We have the lamp, so even if we need to get out now, we have the lamp. He's knocked down, so that technically cancels his turn.
I fear neither shadow nor death.
Misty Step, short rest, away from the spider. I'm just gonna kill. We're just gonna take out 95%. We're just gonna take out some of these goblins. One down. I'm gonna save that extra action.
No god can protect us.
Two goblins down.
Guard against the darkness.
So there's already only the spider and two of the other enemies left. The problem is this spider will literally slaughter everyone if we can't figure out a way to...
You will die here.
Lysandra's about to die right now, I think.
So.
Sandra's dead. Remember, there is a weird glitch where if this specific Harper dies, Harper Lysandra, you have to be careful how you walk around Moon, or Last Light Inn. Not Moonrise Towers. You have to be careful how you walk around Last Light Inn if Lysandra dies, because there's two Harpers there where if Lysandra is dead, will aggro to you. Nice. How is he up here? How is he up here? Killed another Harper. Literally will slaughter all the Harpers one by one. Like, there's just, unfortunately, not much we can do about it. He's a spider, he climb. I guess that's true. So because he hit me and I'm wearing the adamantium armor, he got reeling. See, just murder them one by one. Literally, we'll just murder them one by one. He's not doing anything. Or, he's sanctuary blocked, so I have to use the opportunity that I have to kill him. I'm so confused. Where is... Oh, sharpshooter is on. Okay, so I do have that. 9% is really low. 60%. I'm gonna Misty Step. Up top. Increases my attack to 40%. Ice arrow, and he fell. He's prone. So that means he can't use his legendary action. I don't condone this, but I guess you can just this once. This one's really bad. So because he's prone, we can do Soulbreaker, and he's stunned, so he won't take his next turn. We're gonna dump all of our actions into this right now. I want to see if I can disarm him. 98%. Weapon dropped. So now he's disarmed. So even now he's much easier to fight. We're gonna action surge. I'm gonna lacerate. He's bleeding now. Bleeding isn't the best, but it gives you disadvantage on other kinds of saving throws. I would also say that I have somewhat of an irrational fear of spiders, but I understand that I shouldn't, so I let that help influence me. But I don't touch them or go near them. I make my husband take them outside. The fact that there are any surviving Harpers in this fight is... Well, I mean, there may not be. Who knows? You know? Can Shadowheart crouch? Oh, oops. I used the wrong crouch action. Oh well. Justice for spiders. Precision attack. Just so we bring it up. We're at 99%. Watch this. 99 miss, huh? Nice. 96. We're at 37. Oof. Another dead. Oh, bye, Hegel. Thank you for being here. Nice. Critical hit. He has 9 health left. Now he has no health left. Rip. Alright, well, there is one surviving Harper.
Lantern gives off a...
Goodbye.
You notice a tiny pixie. These fake...
Oh, please. This lantern only likes
Release the
red,
Pixie.
right?
This is maybe the best character in this game.
Finally! Been trapped in
She's
that
glitching.
coffin with no one but a Mad Rider and my own fucking
She's glitching. What was that tiny lamp? Did you see the tiny lantern come out of the lantern? What is... Look at that! A tiny lantern. What? Do you see the tiny lantern right here at the top of the screen? She doesn't have this item in her inventory when normal... Or, like, she doesn't carry an item. She's just a pixie.
Sure I can, but will I? Yes. Here. Give this.
The bottom of the lantern peeking from the top of the screen. This is so interesting.
You're welcome.
That was so funny. I do have pixie plastic. Dolly is so funny. I'm going to choose to believe that Dolly decided to do that as a prank on me of her own volition because she is sentient. I'm choosing to believe that Dolly did that on purpose. Dolly. Sorry, her full name is Dolly. I don't think anyone has anything important. Oh, never mind. Hold on. Thermo Arcanic Gloves. Whenever you deal fire damage, you gain... I don't need that. So now we can go anywhere in the Shadow Curse. The Shadow Curse has nothing to do with us. Where I grew up, there were so many spiders, especially inside. I would wake up to them running at me. Certain they were going to kill me. I'd prefer them to stay alive and just keep their distance from me. But man, that trauma... Yeah, I don't think I've ever experienced being charged down by a spider. But I would understand being, you know, concerned about spiders in that case. Have you considered that maybe they did not want to kill you, but they wanted to be your friend? And the cats would save me. think if I interact...
A map to the further. Toll house, I presume.
How close are we to level 7? No, we're nowhere near. Nowhere near, comrades. It was silly of me to ask.
There might be something
We just got to level 6.
seized goods and the like.
I have way too much gold. So the person who I just walked underneath was one of the Thorms. I call her Gold Thorm because she is the toll collector, and she likes gold. So Gold Thorm has this ability that changes its power depending on how much gold you have. Hello, bestie.
We're close. I can feel it. The absolute.
And I have way too much gold. She can one-shot me. She also has like a crazy high AC bonus. Her AC bonus is like +9 or something like that. I'm working but here to listen and watch. Awesome. Thanks for putting me on the background, bestie.
True soul.
I was going to see if you were working or not, and then
What news
like if
from
you
the
weren't
field?
working, maybe we would be able to play video games together on stream. But since you are working, you may just listen. That's okay.
Let's hope this Zrel
Praise.
I work until 4 fake time. Copy. Oh, 4 in fake time. That's soon. That's in just a couple hours. I'll still be on when I'll still be on. I'll probably be playing Expedition 33. Fortnite duo stream when. So yeah, maybe we'll play duos instead of Expedition 33 if Bessie's home in time. Who knows? Maybe it's trios with Taylor, and we just mute Taylor, so that none of his dialogue ends up on my stream.
There can be no doubt. This is the place. This is where we'll discover the secret of the absolute.
We'll be back. I just yell into... Yeah, Taylor's not allowed to speak on stream. I yell to all the prisoners, I'll be back. And everyone here is like, why are you yelling at the prisoners that you'll be back? And I'm like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it too much. Comrades,
We are each of us threads in her
this
design,
is
even those
where we do.
called monsters.
Last time I tried to talk about the cryptocurrency scheme with Shadowheart, the game crashed on me, but we're at another cryptocurrency moment. Moonrise Towers is an excellent shopping venue. In fact, it's one of the best shopping venues. There is a lot of great stuff here.
The disciple will want to see you through the main doors.
We're gonna start by talking to Roa, who I believe has the Drake's Throat Glaive. The Drake's Throat Glaive is my bread and butter. I have it and use it in every single run, even when I'm not wielding the glaive itself. You can use it to enchant your weapon to do innate elemental damage, and if you travel between regions without resting, you can use it over and over again to enchant every weapon that you are carrying,
How can I be of service, true soul?
because the weapon is broken. Drake's Throat Glaive. Where is it? Draconic Elemental Weapon. Imbue a weapon with elemental power. It receives a +1 bonus to attack rolls and deals an additional 1d4 damage of your choice. So we need this for both me and Shadowheart. We're going to give Shadowheart frost damage innately, ice damage. We'll take all the potions. All of the spiky ones are good. Always take all the spiky arrows. Always take the arrow of many targets. The other ones are, you can kind of just pick and choose, but I usually take a lot of them. Alright. What else do I want? Nair Misser is pretty good. marksmanship hat. This will put on. I was playing Lego Harry Potter until like 2:30 a.m. my time, then came to work for 9 a.m. Good job, bestie. I was awake after I got home working on stuff. W. Kami Jesus, welcome in. You're alright. Welcome in, Comrade. I was up until like 1:30 a.m. because Zachy and I were just hanging out after I got home from my sister's, and he said something out like it was like 15 minutes had passed by, and he like so like 15 minutes before this had happened, he was like, oh, yeah, it's almost midnight. I like then like literally not a whole lot. Like I watched like a short video for like doing something for my stream prep, and oh, also I put a stream counter. I don't know if you've noticed, Smash, but in the top left corner there is a sleep counter. We have to manually edit it. But like 15 minutes had passed. I saw your Snapchat of your sister on the floor. I posted it in the Game Mom Squad on Discord as well. Like 15 minutes had passed since he was like, oh, it's almost midnight. And I watched like a video and then I looked at the clock and it was like, it's almost 1 a.m., Zach. And he goes, what? I said, you said it's almost midnight, like a few minutes ago. He goes, yeah. I was like, it's literally like 12:53. I was like, it's almost 1 a.m. So then I was like, do you want to get high and go to sleep? And so we smoked a few more bowls and then we went to sleep. So it was like 1:30 when I went to bed. And then I woke up at like 9 in real time, not in fake time. Yeah, so we've slept twice. It's been maybe 600 hours. We have new rings. Might as well just take everything. We'll play around with some fun builds. Because when I'm level 7, I want to switch to, just temporarily. I was very confused by the gourd in the nail photo. My sister gave me a gourd. I don't know. That's too much. That's too much money. That costs too much money. We'll put this back for now. I have it here. It's on my... I have to make soup with it. I said I was gonna make soup. I need to put all of my... I need to put everything away. Hold on.
These are our allies, Erna. We'll handle the diplomacy. You just keep looking.
I have way too much stuff. I don't need the thermo-arcanic gloves. I will take that. Oh, we have Nir's head still, comrades. I can put all the dyes away now.
Where do you hail from?
I was a farrier in Desarin Valley. And the dreams came. My brothers have dreams too. Same as me.
Goodbye, autistic baddie. Have a good day. Oh, I should make sure that my stock is stocked on my rewards correctly. What time is it? 21 minutes till the first ad. Manage rewards. What did I have it set as?
Sister, pray with me while we wait.
Ah, I had it backwards.
I never learned the words.
Yes, you did. She gives them to you fully formed.
There.
You hear her?
Save. Edit.
Many hearts. One soul
Awesome. So now
of many thoughts.
it should be, the 420 thing should be fixed so that it doesn't only have 3 per stream. I wanted it set differently, and I fixed it now. I was pet sitting this adorable little pug. Thank you. I was this adorable little pug puppy, and she was teething, so she bit me like 20 times. Puppy shark phase is a real Puppy Shark phase is a real phase of raising dogs, and it almost made me like it literally when Truffle was a puppy, it made me cry a few times during the Puppy Shark phase. It gets so frustrating, comrades. It gets so frustrating. At a certain point, and you just don't know you don't know how to handle it, and you just feel like you're going insane. I shouldn't say that. You feel like things are going really wrong. You feel like things are going really wrong, and it's really stressful. So there was like times where I cried, but she's much better now. The Puppy Shark phase is over. It does pass. There is light at the end of the tunnel, I promise. I need to go to light stream and take a break. Thank you, Kami Jesus, for the break. I'm gonna pack a bowl, comrades. Fidel emotes in the chat, please.
The absolute calls us all to her desire. Your family will answer. Eventually.
And what's to say they couldn't be us? They say the general rewards them as serving well.
Brothers, sister, pray with me while we wait.
I'm not worthy. I never learned the words.
Yes, you did. She gives them to you fully formed. Can you hear her?
Of many hearts, one soul. Of many thoughts, one mind.
Hello, comrades. Let's see. I need Shadowheart's Gold. Oh, I didn't actually talk through. Okay, this is the Shadowheart. I have to talk through it. I like to talk through it, so if I want to, I can clip it from wherever I want to. This is the Shadowheart cryptocurrency money laundering scheme. First, you get a bag. You get any container. I like to use the Bewildering Adventurers pack. You open that bag up, and you put all of the gold you have in it. I have a measly 18,000 gold. Not a lot. I just have a little bit of gold. Put all your gold into it. Talk to any shopkeep and trade with the shopkeep. Make sure you put the whole bag with all of its gold in it in the trade window, the bartering window. This is your credit card. Take whatever you want. I want the potions of angelic reprieve. I want all of his like nice good arrows. I want this cool weapon. I want this. I want this. I'm not looking at it. Who knows? Who knows what any of this is? I'll take it. I'll take the big chew toy. And I'll take his gold too. 17, he has 1737. What I like about this is these are all times that I've taken, by the way, this like pre-fill here, these are all amounts of gold that I've taken out of, and I had like, these are all different amounts of gold that I've taken from shopkeeps. That's why these are all pre-fills here. Put all of his gold in, so this value is worth 16,000 gold, and I have a credit card worth 18,000 gold. I'm gonna accept the trade. Then, you open up your credit card, and you multi-select it inside of the bag. You have to do this with a controller. For some reason, this doesn't work on PC, but it's okay. The PC has a couple easier ways to do a money laundering scheme. This one is the controller money laundering scheme. Then, you select that item, and you send it to Shadowheart, who is back at camp waiting to perform the cryptocurrency fraud. You send all of the gold to her, she takes it off the credit card, she just takes it off, and then you purchase the credit card back for 2 gold. and then you leave, and you take the money from Shadowheart, and you send it back to yourself, and now you have 20,000 gold. Not much. Hardly anything, really.
To stand this close to my power. I never thought I'd make it.
You put it back in the bag.
If not for the lantern bearer.
You talk to the shopkeep
seek
again.
arms.
You see if he has anything that you
seek a
want. He
warrior
doesn't. You go to a
worthy
different
to bear
shopkeep. You just take his gold and leave. You can go to a different shopkeep. And that, my friends, is Shadowheart's money laundering, cryptocurrency money laundering scheme. And you can use it to get whatever item you want in the game from a shopkeep. And also have a lot of gold, I guess, in a bag, which is it makes the bag really heavy. So I guess if you want
That's why I support revolution. The revolution that feeds the children gets my support.
Thank you. Thank you for the follow. Welcome. Zach Types. Thank you for the follow, Zach Types. Welcome in. You can do this with everyone.
Raj, should you be interested, I have a particular offer I'd like to make.
That's why I support revolution. The revolution that feeds the children gets my support.
Thank you so much. Welcome in, Amanda M. Coleman. Welcome. Thank you so much for the follow. Today we are playing Baldur's Gate 3. Sometimes when we do like menial tasks, we listen to some lectures in the background. But right now we are shopping. We're running a cryptocurrency money laundering scheme in Moonrise Towers. This person is a weirdo. Araja Bladra is kind of a freak. But it's okay, because she's going to make Lae'zel super, super strong. Alright. We have to go get lurking for a sex. You might be just as much as a weirdo as a Raja Bladra, the Kami Jesus. We have to get Astarion out of the box, comrades. I want to assure you, he will go back. No one more than Astarion deserves to be in the box. Right? He will go back in the box. He has one purpose, and one purpose only. Where is the box? Where is it? Where is the oh, it's right behind. This is the box of friends. We have... Hi, Obsis. Welcome in. What did Find It Lesbian do? What did I miss? We have Astarion. We're taking Astarion out for a few minutes. Halsin, Karlak, and Night Warden Minthara. I love that her first name is Night Warden. Took me 90 Gorum minutes. Holy cow, my voice is sore. My voice yesterday was actually fairly sore after the 5 hours of reading. I had a nice, like, warm cup of tea with no sugar. It was very nice and soothing, but it was very sore. Ring of Free Action. Unwavering. You ignore the effects of difficult terrain and cannot be paralyzed or restrained. Will literally prevent us from being held. I need to get all of this out of my inventory right now. I buy all of this and then I immediately send it away. It's so that we can play with it all later, comrades. There's a silly... When we get level 7, there is a very silly build that I want to do, just to show, where you steal clubs from a summon that you can summon. A summon you can summon. and you can wield them, and you get the summons abilities even though it says you shouldn't be able to, but you do get the summons abilities from the weapon that you steal from them. And it's really funny because the step-by-step process is first you summon a summon, then you have the summon summon another summon, and then you pickpocket the summon that you summoned with your other summon, and you steal its clubs. It's very funny. What? Oh, it's because I'm holding Astarion. I was like, why am I entimbered? Raiding in from Obsess Reading. Welcome in, Mr. Tim.
The reaction failed.
We just dropped an elf on the ground.
Offers a luck potion.
Should we put Nir's head in the box of friends? He's a slaver. He does not go in the box of friends. I take that back. No, yeah. Silly of me to ask, to be quite honest. Okay.
The Chosen's blood.
Type,
Now
please.
that
Thank you.
would be a prize, huh?
There's no box of foes, no. We can do a trading card run, maybe next time, but some people might be very upset with a trading card run. A trading card run is where, so like, I'm gonna leave Astarion on the ground right there for now. So, for people who are, trading card video games are so weirdly popular. Well, this is not that. So, a trading card run is something referred to in this community specifically because when you put a body in an inventory, they get this like trading card picture. So a trading card run is where you collect all the trading cards. As many as you can. And so the box of friends really just becomes a box of trading cards in a trading card run. But that won't be this one, of course. There's some people who have posted on like, there's like extremely thorough ones. There was like, one person said like they thought that they had done like a really good job on their trading card run. And then they watched this specific video and they were like, there's a lot more that you can collect. Just like, and they wanted to, they were like, I might do it again just because there's a lot more. Anyways, we brought Astarion out of the box of friends. Here's a problem. How do I revive him? Oh, there they are. You can revive him here.
Now that takes you.
I died. They killed me. At least someone had a good
I'm the
grace
one.
to bring
I'm
me
the
back.
they in question.
I suppose that merits an
This man is a
introduction.
racist.
My name's Astarion. I was involved. A pleasure.
So then you have your, like, we're in Act 2, right? This is his first conversation, the very first one that you
It
have with him.
hasn't happened yet. You know.
But, like, you could just have this
And
wherever
you
you want,
said,
essentially.
All right.
Okay, so Astarion's in our, yeah, he has really no issues. Anyways, we talked to Araj.
Welcome back. I'd like to offer my services. If you'll play with one drop, like we can learn exactly what that means.
So then you give her your blood,
Oh, yeah?
and she
Oh my
makes
God.
you a potion with your blood, and then
Oh,
she
I
asks
assume it
if
belongs to
your,
you?
she asks if
Ah.
your vampire can bite her. She wants to be bit and have him drink her blood.
Now.
She likes to experiment with blood.
I'll even it's not for.
I will. I gave you.
Oh, can't you talk some sense into your obstinate child?
I'm sorry. Are you? Because there's something wrong with her blood.
He says there's something weird,
Darling.
but you can say
Oh.
it's a strength potion. Can I have it? And he'll do it for you. And he's really mad about it. So we got 2 potions out of her. The first one is Elixir of Githyanki Providence. And we can get this, I think, once per day. I'm not entirely sure about it. But we just have to give up a little blood, which is not a big deal. But, once per day, a mode of Githyanki Psionics allows you to cast Misty Step, Invigorate Leap, and Blur, each only once until your next long rest. It's literally just good. And then, where is... Here it is. No, it isn't. Here it is. Potion of Everlasting Vigor. Permanently increase your strength by 2. So it's... We won't see the effects of this until tomorrow, but our strength is 18 right now, so when we drink this, our strength will be 20. Our strength is 21, which is effectively the same as 20. So now we don't need to drink strength potions in the morning anymore to get up to 20. And then we go to camp. And we tell Astarion.
You know, it's a vampire.
Oh, he's telling us that
So,
he thinks he thinks that we didn't know he's a vampire.
I thought
Get him out of your party.
Guess it sounds.
Get him out of the party, and then just put him back. Just put him back. We're done with this man. The other benefit of having Astarion in the box is that when you get to Act 3, spoiler warning, when you get to Act 3, if Astarion is in the box, he cannot be kidnapped by his vampire lord, and so that part of that quest is taken care of. The vampire lord cannot cast his spell. He can't perform the ritual just because Astarion is already in the box and can't be caught. Hello, London's best gay. Awesome. We need to go upstairs and get the hat. Do I have Winter's clutches already? I should have Winter's clutches. Yes. Excellent.
We did as we was told,
W dog.
General. Followed
The facts.
Cute little
Enough.
undead dog. It's
You
so sad that
failed
we...
to retrieve the artifact. You
Oh,
failed to protect
excellent,
your
thank
true
you.
soul.
Thank you,
do not
Smash.
deserve to live.
I'm going to get through this cutscene, and then we will come back after the ad break.
Let our newest arrival
But,
speak.
on the
You have
lobby
seen
screen,
what these
comrades,
creatures are capable of, and you
the
have
new
seen
playlist
their
is a playlist
inadequacies.
submitted to us
So,
by my
what is
Selenum
your
in the
judgment?
Commissariat on Discord, which is the backstage lounge for the ambassadors in KingTube. It's called Liberation Radio, and it is a humongous playlist of revolutionary music, essentially. So, we're going to switch over to the lobby screen and listen to a little bit of revolutionary music on Liberation Radio. Thank you, my Selenum. W-Tank2.
Well, we had a meeting on the site, and Robeson was introduced to the workers, and he spoke about his relationship with the workers in other countries because he was a prominent figure in the international working class movement.
And this is one about Joe Hill, one of our great heroes in the American working class movement. They framed him on a murder charge, but his spirit still lives in the hearts of all the American working class. I dreamed I saw Joe Hill last night, alive as you and me. Says I but Joe, you're 10 years dead. I never died, says he. I never died, says he. In Salt Lake City, Joe says I, him standing by my bed. They framed you on a murder charge, says Joe, but I ain't dead. Says Joe, but I ain't dead. And standing there as big as life and smiling with his eyes, says Joe, what they can never kill went on to organize, went on to organize. From San Diego up to Maine, in every mine and mill, where working men defend their rights, it's there you'll find Joe Hill. It's there you'll find Joe Hill.
Hello again, comrades. Welcome back. That was maybe one of the just corniest music videos I've ever seen. I accidentally picked an option that automatically killed all the goblins, so I didn't fight them. So I apologize for that, comrades. But we're gonna go get the winter hat. We're gonna get the cold ring. Back up, last slide in. We're gonna dress Shadowheart back up in Stealth Frost Archer gear. Accidentally, I thought I was picking an option to fight them, and I picked an option that killed them with my mind powers.
Limits to everyone.
Even you, Disciples Realm?
Everyone. Keep watch and ensure that nobody passes. Excellent timing, true soul.
There was no corn. The music video so like when I'm on the, it's like I'm screen sharing to something that's behind the background for the music. So when I'm on the YouTube screen, I'm watching the music videos while we're listening to the music. And the music video for the Bella Ciao remix, the Hugel version, is just corny. The music video for it is corny.
That was inventive and efficient. Plenty. You can.
She put every emotion soaks into her mind's
We want power.
She gave me.
Have her show you the power because it just kills the ogre.
But I can. And the bet that's it. Play along.
Then you just have to say that you do what you want. You'll do.
Contact with him. Go there. The shat. Take one, but don't.
You'll do whatever she wants you to do. That's what I tried to say there. She gives you Balthazar's room key. You can like try to do like an insight check to get access to her special stash from the bugbear down below. When orcs kiss, do their teeth get tangled? I think so. I do think so. Step 1, pick up. Hold on. Step 1. Hold on. Sorry, friends. Step 1, pick up heart. You now have a human heart in your pocket. Step 2. You read books labeled musty tomes. Step 3. You put the heart in the ancient altar. What could go wrong? Nothing. It just opens a door, of course. Step 4. You use your... Oh, it's immune to slashing damage. No, I was gonna say you use your skeleton key, but I guess this one is skeleton key proof. You hope for the best. I could get Shadowheart here, huh? You know what? Let's pick it up. You take this, cause it's Shadowheart's anyways. You take the chest, and then you go to Shadowheart. Ignore the blood on the ground. You go to Shadowheart. Where is she? She's not here. I know what happened. When you leave camp, your companions leave camp with you even if they're not attached to you. So she's not at camp.
I never learned the words.
Yes, you did. She gives them to you.
Now she's at camp. You offer your wife a beautiful chest. This is the next step. Your wife, of course, opens the chest with a lockpick. Maybe not. This happens every time, comrades, I swear. She should have better. She has sleight of hand proficiency and it's a +6. Thank you. 23. That's more like it. That's what I thought. Your wife opens the chest and she takes out the witch hat. Then you go back to last slide in. And once we get her dressed up, we're going to the creche and we're killing everything. Where is the sob emoji when you need it? Which? Which? Who? I need to put the Fanon emoji in. And then I think we need a communist crying emoji. Perception failed. Come on. I need this ring. I need that ring. We're gonna make someone who can see really good. We're just gonna make literally 1,000,000 hirelings until we get that ring, comrades. We'll bring everyone out of the box of friends.
This vessel is at this.
What's that?
The camp cleric found it. Loose planks. Snowburst ring. Comrades. So, cold brim hat. Once per turn, any condition inflicted on a target also applies 2 turns of encrusted with frost. Winter's clutches. When the wearer deals cold damage, inflict 2 turns of encrusted with frost. Encrusted with frost. Affected entity has disadvantage on dexterity saving throws. When there are 7 or more turns remaining, the entity must succeed a constitution saving throw or take 1 to 4 cold damage and become frozen. On a successful save, it takes only half damage. Afterwards, the frost sloughs away. Can I inspect that even further? Frozen. Affected entity is utterly enameled in ice and is incapacitated. If it is dealt bludgeoning, thunder, or force damage, the ice shatters, ending the condition. Where is it? Where is it? Snowburst ring. When the wearer deals cold damage, they create a 15-foot circle of ice around the target. Step 1 for this little fun trick that you can do is send the camp cleric back to camp. This is your zombie man. Send him back to camp. I have no more use of you.
Art thou certain a single mortal?
Bye. He's not just, I just evaporated him. He's not just back at camp. I sent him back to the far plane. Well, that's the Final Fantasy name for the afterlife. That's the Final Fantasy X name. On one wife, equip the Drake Throat Glaive. The other wife puts her bow on the ground. This only works with 2 wives, comrades. This doesn't work with a husband and a wife. You can't do this with 2 husbands either. 2 wives only. The wife holding the Drake Throat Glaive uses Draconic Elemental Weapon and applies cold damage to the Titan String Bow. And then what happens is you do innate. Nothing about straight couples ever works. That's also true. Now you do innate cold damage every time you use your bow, which means every time you do cold damage, it sparks off. The cold brim hat applies encrusted with frost. The winter's clutches applies encrusted with frost. So 4 turns automatically encrusted with frost, which means that they get dexterity. They lose the ability to do dexterity saving throws more and more. You also have the Snowburst ring equipped, which means that there's a circle of ice around them, and since they're really bad at their dexterity saving throws, they're more likely to slip on the ice. And if they slip on the ice, they lose their turns. And then your wife, who is standing really close by, is wearing boots that say that I cannot slip on ice. The wife who's standing in the ice, she can't slip on it anyways, so she's safe. You keep the Drake Throat Glaive equipped. This build was, she can't slip on ice, but can she step on me? And she will. She wants to. Actually, if you do her romance, she does challenge you to a fight. And I have lost this fight because I have had the Lae'zel build that I am currently using on Lae'zel, and I didn't change her out of all of her gear, and she one-turned me. I can change her out of her gear so that I can survive her. This is the thing. Is if you want to marry her, you must not only beat her, but survive her. Lae'zel has Lae'zel's people, the Githyanki, have they're very practical people, but they're known for having like a warriors thing, like a warriors culture about like them. Oh dang it, I messed up. Okay, have Shadowheart equip the sword. Equip Shadowheart. First of all, we traveled between things. Shadowheart's bow will have the cold damage on it still. We have to travel back and then travel here again. So we're going to travel back to Last Light and we're going to travel back here. Are you going to get the... Are you going to get the egg? Yeah, I'll pick up the egg. Are they going to have a baby? No. The egg never hatches as far as I'm aware. Like, not even in the after? Go back to Last Light Inn. So you just travel between regions without resting, and if you keep the Drakethroat Glaive equipped, it should regenerate its ability to cast the spell, and you can cast it multiple times. And then what you do to preserve it is you put all of the items in a box, and you leave that box in one region, and then you sleep overnight in another region, and then you go pick up your items, and they'll still have all of the enchantments on them. It's a little bit like extra steps, but it does do... Damage is damage, you know? 1d4 is more damage, and when it sparks off this much effects, it's worth it. So you can cast Draconic Elemental Weapon. I'm going to have more cold damage on the sword, because it's already doing a bunch of other damage. No, I'm going to have it do... cold damage. Everything's immune to acid. No, I'll have it do... yeah, cold damage. It's already doing a bunch of other kinds of damage. You cast it on the wife holding your sword for you. Now your wife has a sword enchanted with cold damage and a bow enchanted with cold damage, but you'll take the sword back.
That's more where that came from.
Both have cold damage.
Wish we had stone or steel.
Oh. And then make sure you put back your club and your
Bloody army.
knife on the other way. Cool. We're going back. We're gonna kill everything, and we're gonna do a bunch of fights. We did a bunch of prep. Now we do a bunch of fights. That's how it goes. I don't think there's anything on that side. I'm gonna go just straight to the other side.
How's the barricade coming?
Conditions of marriage: 1, beat her. 2, survive her. I think I'm starting to understand dating women finally. Thanks, Virgo. A true comrade. She challenges you to a fight, like for a mating ceremony. Should we start with the kobolds? Start with the kobolds. They're all drunk and they explode. And we do a bunch of ice damage. Well, actually, Lae'zel does like everything.
What do you mean, too drunk? It's not possible.
Same. There's one in there that's really dangerous. And everyone else is just kind of fine. Lae'zel does... That's gonna happen every time Lae'zel does anything. In here. Lae'zel does fire damage because of the gloves. Sneaky. Baby sneaky. Baby sneaky. This is the bad one.
Smell. I recognize that fatigue. Those kobolds are 3 sheets to the wind.
So, I mean, it's dead, but you can see there's ice on the ground. Rings of ice. They don't have a lot of health, so, I mean, probably a lot of these is gonna be like this. And then we can sneak in with Lae'zel. Sneaky, sneaky. That's just because Lae'zel's gonna make everything in this room explode. They're all surprised. Lae'zel can't do anything in this fight. She's just gonna stand and let her wife take care of it. Gay bomb. She's literally one-turning every single thing that she shoots. How does that feel? Very good. There'll be more interesting fights. This one's the easy one. We just don't... The challenge is not making the whole room explode. And we took care of that by getting rid of the Kobold Inventor first, and by letting Lae'zel stand off to the wife. Stand off to the side and support her wife. Oh, Slippy. Everyone's missing. Those two didn't miss. Lae'zel can throw them at each other, I guess. That worked. And it's bleeding for some reason. Okay. Two misses on a 88% with advantage. They took a reeling from hitting me and then fell down because of reverberation. There's one that's alive down there. Yeah. Oh, I can't hit him. Okay, let's throw him on the other one then. Stop missing, Shadowheart. She didn't listen. There you go. Extra attack. Okay, another miss. Shadowheart. This one is dying because I keep throwing his friends at him. I can't reach him. Okay. Hello, Caltamus. Welcome in. So many misses on the arrows, Shadowheart. Disadvantage. Literally was one-shotting everything and then missed like the last 12 arrow shots. Explosion.
That should more than suffice.
We can take these barrels. They have kobolds in them. Just gotta get the ones that say, like, gulp, 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 or slurp, slurp, slurp. We can just keep those. Those are ours now. Shall we go fight the cats? Do cats and then birds? And then go inside? Wah!
What is that awful mewling?
Oh. They're surprised. But the combat didn't start. Excellent, thank you, bestie. Let me... Where are the sightlines at? Literally everywhere. There. Comment, I'm getting ready to take a break right now. When I'm on the break, it's a good time if you have the points to purchase sound alerts. But time for a break. Thank you, bestie. Fidel emotes in the chat, please, when I go away.
Are you gay?
Alright, we're fighting the cats and they're surprised. They're shocked. You're shocked? You're shocked? Shadowheart is really just tearing the room up. Okay. What do you mean not enough movement? See, okay, you know what? No. That's annoying. I have a great weapon master bonus attack, but it's alright. Lae'zel needs more movement speed, and we can fix that right after we get out of combat. I've never seen a cat be surprised for more than 3 seconds. They're such unbothered queens. This is they were technically surprised for 6 seconds. Each turn, we do everything that we do in 6 seconds. That is how long one turn lasts in Dungeons and Dragons. So all of this, you just need to imagine me running around super fast. All the way over there. I can jump there. There's only 2 cats left. Cats didn't really get a turn at all. Cats are dead. We killed all the cats, comrades. What are they used for? Wizard's Bane oil? Shall we do birds next? I need to drink a potion of animal speaking.
Time to pack it in for the day, I think.
What's that?
Intruder! In my nest! This area was meant to be safe! Savior, get behind Mummy!
I failed that. I want to talk to Xavier, if I can. No? That's fine. Xavier, we're gonna kill all the birds.
Nest meddling lies!
So here's the thing, we have to like wait a turn. I want to kill all the birds. Bird. I'm gonna make shot. No. Oh no, it's the duos. No, I don't want that many turns. That's the benefit is of having few things is less turns. Oh, I'll cast fly on Lae'zel. Now look, now Lae'zel is a bird. Call it, yeah, cool. Pretty big hit.
It's calling for help. Keep focused.
Oh, I forgot to give extra, extra speed. That's okay. I'm gonna go over here. We killed bird. No? Yeah, well, it fell. Ah! 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 Losal is a boar. I may not have even selected the bird. There we go. Alright. Everyone's here. Now we can kill birds. Lae'zel can fly around, which is excellent, because fly helps your movement speed. One bird down. We also have Great Weapon Master bonus attack from killing a bird. Is this one in combat? Hold on. This one looks like he's just chilling. It's kind of cute. Oh, no, he's fighting. They're just pushing her around. That's so mean. Lae'zel, stand up. Lae'zel. Ever sacred bestie. All those eagles just blessing you. Bestie, you're so funny. Alright, I'm hoping I hit. Hit them. No. Oh, but it did bounce around though. Come on, hit. 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 Hell yeah. Look at all that ice, comrades. It's too bad they're flying. Rough. I'm gonna cleave. Well, first I have to get over here. I'm gonna cleave. 'Cause cleave will let me hit all three of these. And end it. Look at how all that pretty damage. Look at all that. Action surge. Lae'zel just took out 3 birds. We need to give Shadowheart the risky ring, I think. That's what's missing. Risky ring gives Shadowheart advantage.
This weapon would have been formidable.
I only have 19 giant potions, comrades. Oh, slip. One bird left, comrades. "17 minutes till add." We won. R.I.P. birds. Okay, so let's put the risky ring on. We don't need the sparks wall. Risky ring. You gain advantage on attack rolls and receive disadvantage on saving throws. Our saving is like, we have a lot of stuff that gives us extra points for saving throws, so I'm not super worried about it anyways. What are our boots? Our boots we have, unfortunately we just have to stay away from our own ice. But that'll be fine, because now we're gonna go fight some Githyanki. But before that, we're gonna do the Zaythisk, which means we're gonna try to get illicit abilities as a bonus action. Lae'zel's holding a sword that gives her advantage on all the checks that you need for the Zaythisk. I guess we'll come back and get the flail after we kill everybody. Let's go inside. Kresh Yelek. Whoa. There we go. Black screen for a second. Oh, I have to get the egg. We'll get that. We'll just take it after we kill them. In that room. I like to close all the doors and take each of these fights one at a time. We're gonna take this. That's ours. So now we have two barrels with kobolds in it and a box with a cat in it. We have lots of pets, comrades. These ones are all alive, too. So there's that. Kobold, cat. Oh, I need to find the headband of intellect. Did I kill the ogres? I may not have killed the ogres. We may have to make a side trip back to Act 1 to kill an ogre. Let's go kill an ogre, comrades. Let's kill 3. How are you alive? They're not. Put your archer up here. Actually, do I have spells? Oh, I don't have. What? I should have a level 1 spell slot. That's fine. He was minding his business. The goblin? Are you a goblin sympathizer right now? I think they're silly. I'm just teasing about being a goblin sympathizer. Nice.
Taking my cue.
All right. So, arrow of many targets. When an arrow of many targets hits a critical hit, every other is automatically a critical hit as well. So, and also, oh, Frank is frozen. Affected enemy is utterly enameled in ice and is incapacitated. If it is dealt bludgeoning, thunder, or force damage, the ice shatters, ending the condition. So they can't take a turn, so they're out of the turn order for 2 turns. I still have 1 more attack. That one is dead. Now, and also because I killed someone, I get 1 more attack. Another critical hit. They're frozen, so Lae'zel can go. Lae'zel cannot slip. Immune to frost damage is funny. They're all dead. Lump the Enlightened has Warped Headband of Intellect. This is why he's so smart. But this is inside his stomach. And you get it out of him after you kill him. Because it implies that he ate the adventurer who was wearing this. This particular circle is covered in yellow slime and has pieces of half-digested mutton stuck behind the gems. Set the wearer's intelligence score to 17. It does nothing if the wearer's intelligence is higher than 17. So we're just going to wear this for now. It makes our intelligence 17, which makes it easier to do the Zaith'isk. Then you go back to Kreshielek. And this is what Lae'zel wants to do anyway. So it's like this is actually like roleplay. The first time we're doing something probably that Lae'zel would actually do, which is we've eaten a bunch of worms. And we're gonna go in here and try to dig all those worms out with this machine. There's so many worms in here.
Parasite. Take it. It might be useful.
I like to. Set my archer up first. Somewhere over here. That way, if there's like people who want to shoot at me, they can't. Yay, worms. We ate a bunch of worms. And we'll just leave Shadowheart out there. Oh, actually, is that door closed? No, the door is open, which could have been annoying. Children, I'm gonna set Shadowheart up. Yeah, this one has the wall. here. Ten turns. Concentration. We already have something that prevents us from being charmed. Don't need that. No, we're fine. Let's do it, comrades.
Vertical.
This is a scientist.
If you require treatment, take a seat, Colonel. Tell me. Still, either go to the safest. It.
And she's here to dig a worm out of our skull, even if it kills us.
Smiles on.
That's all she wants, is the worm,
There is
not our survival.
Purification is your duty.
Your body grows.
You must focus on.
So we should hopefully
themselves tightly. Your skull groans and bends under
saving
the
throw,
pressure.
follow the instruction. We should be able to do very well at this, and I'm hoping to succeed. Oh, we're very close there. Iran has responded to Israel's continuing of breaking the ceasefire against Lebanon, started sending missiles some 7 hours ago. Inshallah, they find success in seeking peace.
Lurking presence. The device searches too. You sense its hunger, its keep going. Your vision narrows. You feel yourself ebbing away, while the parasite only grows stronger. It's evolved. That's it. The device, the tadpole.
No more.
We did it, comrades. We now have our abilities, our illicit abilities are now bonus actions, which is super useful. It's so useful to have them as a bonus action instead of an action.
Fanatical edge, an obsession bordering on mania. If there's a chance the parasite lives,
Oh,
she
I missed it. All of them are good, actually. Actually, kind of all of them are good. What's that? She's so scary.
The Zaith is the only. Wait here.
So,
This cannot be. Purification.
this room will change right now. The children will leave. She's gonna lock the door behind her.
He will see protocol done.
Incredible. Your parasite is even stronger now.
Cool. Now we're in combat. I'm gonna Hunter's Mark. Just steal Stornugas. I'm gonna. Oh, counterspell. Interesting. I forgot about that. Fine. We're gonna shoot arrow of many targets. Arrow of many targets. 3 people died from arrow of many targets. We still have one more attack. So there's only 3 people left in there. Yes, thank you for the update, Nero. Right. There's some pretty good items in this room, comrades. Ring of Elemental Infusion. Elemental Infusion, when you deal acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder damage using a spell or cantrip, that element infuses your weapon. This is good if you have... what's it called? Booming Blade.
My energy wanes.
Boomy Blade.
Time to rest.
Best blade. The Just Steel has an amulet that we can wear as Lae'zel. Ad soon. Oh, yes. Let's go to an ad break. Let's listen to more Liberation Radio, comrades. Thank you. Thank you for helping me pay attention to Ad Smash. I appreciate it. Vanya Kalek posted some on social media an hour ago, but if Iran keeps on saying that Lebanon is off limits and doesn't do anything more... Excellent, thank you. If you want to find a collective community... Oh, sorry. If the Lebanon is off limits and doesn't do anything more, they'll be seen as weak. And it was something... Oh, copy.
But that expropriation of the third world has been going on for 400 years, brings us to another revelation, namely that the third world is not poor. You don't go to poor countries to make money. There are very few poor countries in this world. Most countries are rich. The Philippines are rich. Brazil is rich. Mexico is rich. Chile is rich. Only the people are poor. But there's billions to be made there, to be carved out and to be taken. There's been billions for 400 years. The capitalist European and North American powers have carved out and taken the timber, the flax, the hemp, the cocoa, the rum, the tin, the copper, the iron, the rubber, the bauxite, the slaves, and the cheap labor. They have taken out of these countries. These countries are not underdeveloped, they're overexploited.
You know there already is a Joseph Stalin?
You're kidding.
Alright, comrades. So it is now time for us to listen to a Parenti lecture while we clear out the creche. I'm just gonna go section by section, room by room, until the creche is empty. We're probably gonna start over the yellow Parenti lecture sometime soon again, but we're gonna pick a different one. Oh, this is the... But I'm gonna pick a different one for right now. I just like listening to the yellow Parenti one. We're gonna use the political uses of religion to listen to.
Wants to get autographs. He's going to be addressing us today on theocracy versus democracy, the political uses of religion. And I have to say, in all the things that I've read over the years, when I came to Michael Parenti's works, I finally really found somebody that I agreed with, and the same goes for Dr. O'Hare on this particular subject, and not alone that we agreed with, but somebody who was willing to actually say it out loud, or put it right out in a book somewhere for somebody to see. And I think you'll find what he has to say very interesting. Michael Parenti.
Thank you, John, and thank you, everyone, for having me here today. A few years ago, I went on a yoga retreat in the Caribbean, a little island. It's an ashram where people practice yoga. I went because I like yoga. Unfortunately, this microphone in front of me. Can you all hear me all right? Back there in the cheap seats, you can hear me? Okay. Unfortunately, the head of the whole, this yoga sect was there, the head Swami, very religious man, and he gave sermons every morning, which the guests were required to attend. And every day he talked about love and the higher cosmic force of love. And every day he talked about how spiritual things were everything and material things are nothing. He was an Indian. He used to say, spiritual things are everything, material things are nothing. And then one day, his yacht got loose from the pier, and it began to float away. And he started to scream and so, get my yacht, get my yacht. And he had a yacht, and he had a seaplane. And this man of love, I noticed, was filled with hate. He yelled at people. This man of God was full of ego. He got up and talked about how no one is perfect, only I am perfect. He kicked out a couple of people from the place because they raised some questions, and he threatened to bring the police in. And it occurred to me that this Swami was the perfect theocrat, that what we had here was a theocracy, using the power of the state to enforce your will, countenancing no alternative opinions, and up to your ears in wealth. In a theocracy, there's no democracy. Now, religionists say that they're anti-materialist. They're against materialism. But that word materialism is a very funny one. It's subject to a number of misinterpretations. In fact, there are two real, quite different uses for the word. There's philosophical materialism, which argues, as you know, that ideas do not exist as independent forces, independent of material reality, as disembodied mystical forces. As the great materialist Karl Marx said, men sometimes get ideas in their head and they're so vivid that they then impute to these ideas an external existence of their own as some force out there. Now the religionists, to be sure, are anti-materialist in that sense. That is, they believe in these spirits, and they believe in these externalized imaginings. But there's a second use of the word materialism, and that has to do with, and when we use it, we often use it, I think, instinctively, quite correctly. We associate it with consumerism, self-interest, power, possessiveness, what I would call acquisitive materialism. And now here, most religious organizations really are very dedicated to this kind of materialism. They acquire, throughout the centuries, they have acquired, and in many different cultures, in many different countries, in many different eras, the one thing all these religions have had in common, almost all of them, is that they have acquired vast properties and wealth, and they have used political power. They've used the legitimated authority of the state, the legal use of organized force and violence, which is Max Weber's definition of the state. They've used political power to advance their own material interests, to win gain for themselves, to exploit people, and in fact to maybe often win advantages over competing religious sects, because there are often fights between each other for who's going to grab the goodies. And for centuries they've been involved in secular intrigues, in conflicts, in wars, in ways that have often violated their own religious precepts. Let me give you just one example from the thousands of examples from history that I could give you. Martin Luther. Now, we all know the Martin Luther who started the Reformation with his anti-materialist rebellion against Rome. But there's another lesser-known Luther, the other materialist kind of Luther, the apologist for the German princes, the defender of the aristocratic class rule. The Martin Luther who, in 1525, when the peasants were starving, when their land had been taken, when they couldn't even get a decent amount of firewood to heat themselves, when their children were going hungry, when the rents were crushing them, and they were desperate, and they rose up in rebellion in 1525, and they took over the cathedrals, and they took over the castles, and they formed committees, and they reorganized the use of the wealth, and they reorganized the use of the land for themselves, and they rose up with dignity. That Martin Luther got up, and this is what he said. He said, this is a blasphemy. He cursed the rebellion for turning, quote, everything upside down like the worst disaster. By the way, his own prince, Frederick the Wise, says this. Let me quote him first. He said, in many ways, the poor folk have been wronged by the rulers. Takes something when a prince admits that. And now God is visiting his wrath upon us. But not Luther. Luther knew which side God was on, and God is on the side of the aristocracy. And he said, I don't quote him, is everything upside down like the worst disaster. And Martin Luther repeatedly urged, quote, everyone who can to, quote, smite, slay, and stab the peasants, secretly or openly, remembering that nothing can be more poisonous, hurtful, or devilish than a rebel. It is just as when one must kill a mad dog. And of course, he quoted numerous passages from the Bible to justify his call to butchery. And the German princes didn't need too much encouragement. They slaughtered 100,000 peasants. Historians agree that that's pretty much the estimate that could stand. So this Luther, the great spokesman for the one true God of love and the Prince of Peace, was up to his neck in homicidal bloodletting in a repressive class war on the side of those who have more than they know what to do with against those who want a fair shake. This materialist, now sometimes works the other way. Sometimes the religionists use the state to advance their interests. That's what we mean by the religious uses of politics. And sometimes the state uses religion to legitimate its own exploits, and that's the political uses of religion. So politicians use religion, and religionists use politicians. This is not to say that nothing's changed. Indeed, there have been remarkable historical developments over the centuries. There have been remarkable victories for our forces. There's been a rollback of theocratic power. I mean, compared today to the 10th century, let's say. The diminishment of religious wars in the West, and the secularization of social life with the advent of science, and with such forces as industrialization, urbanization, and modern socialism. But these advances don't come, and history doesn't work in a neat historical succession. Just when we think it's going one way, much to our dismay, it starts going another way. But generally, the move has been in a positive directions. But remarkable residues of the past are still with us. When you think about it, it was just 30 years ago that there existed an age-old theocracy. I mean, a theocracy that was about 2,000 years old. I mean, the society was still organized that way in Tibet. And when the People's Republic of China reclaimed its suzerainty over Tibet and sent its troops in and its organizers and its social welfare people, all these people came in, the U.S. media were filled with stories about these beautiful monks who had to be carried to India, who are now deprived of their religion. They weren't deprived of their religion. You could practice Buddhism in China if you want. What they were deprived of was their enormous wealth. The thing that the media didn't tell us about was that in Tibet, those monks ruled that country. Those peasants lined up and gave their food, their livestock, their everything else. They exploited that peasantry. Those monasteries were rich. It was a feudal theocracy that lived off the backs of these peasants, and those monks had a good thing going for them, and that class was blown away. What the media doesn't also tell you now is that the average peasant in China, for whatever else you want to think about or say about the People's Republic of China, the average peasant in Tibet today goes to school. He gets enough to eat. His kids get enough to eat. He's got a co-op, a communal farm, whatever it is to work on. He's got some place to go to. He gets medical attention when he needs it. And those things did not exist when God ruled in Tibet. We also could note how theocracy, I mean this thing about this erratic quality of religion sometimes. I know you're out there behind those lights, but I'll just go on. This is showbiz. You got to... How you can get these erratic movements when one of the most murderous and repressive theocracies emerges today in the last 8 or 9 years in Iran, with mullahs, and by the way, the right-wing faction of the Shiite movement won the victory in Iran. You know, when they blew up all those mullahs and those guys who came for a mass meeting, that was the sort of the mujahideen, the reformist group. They were all slaughtered in one blow. The mullahs who rule in Iran and live off the people and live very well and are carrying out this endless murderous war against Iraq with the assistance of with our cowboy in the White House there. So we have this kind of thing. And also right here in America, as the previous speaker pointed out, there has been a real resurgence of this religious right. For generations, religionists have served corporate capitalism. They've preached obedience to the status quo. They've opposed workers trying to organize and form unions. They've opposed syndicalism, socialism. It was portrayed as the work of the devil. And in turn, capitalists, the big rich robber barons and the owners, were inclined to present themselves as the recipients of the deity's highly selective blessings. Let me quote one of them. John D. Rockefeller Sr., quote, "I believe the power to make money is a gift of God. Having been endowed with the gift I possess, I believe it is my duty to make money, and still more money, and more money, and more money, more money, and to use the money I make for the good of my fellow man according to the dictates of my conscience." So from this we may conclude that God is a financier. And so too today, social and political leaders constantly call upon God. Every president of the United States feels compelled to do this, but no president more so than Ronald Reagan. And it's a little scary. You know, it's one thing for certain right-wing evangelicals to announce that the Bible prophesizes an imminent apocalypse, that we are now in the third and final stage, the third and final millennium. That the Antichrist forces from the East, as portrayed by Gorbachev and Mikhail in Russia, will meet destruction. Israel will convert, and Christ will return triumphant to deliver death upon the non-believers and elevate the believers up to eternal life into heaven. It's one thing to hear that from Jerry Falwell and Jimmy Swaggart. It's quite something else when the President of the United States, the guy with his finger on the button, tells us or is indicating that he embraces the same mythology, that we may be getting close to the apocalypse, the final judgment between East and West. And it's a matter of public record that he's entered into such conversations about this impending apocalypse with Jerry Falwell and other fundamentalists who themselves have talked about it and his wonderful grasp of the Bible and how the president really knows all this stuff. Before the National Association of Evangelics in March 1983, President Reagan proclaimed, quote, "There is sin and evil in the world, and we are enjoined by Scripture and the Lord Jesus to oppose it with all our might." The The Soviet Union is an evil empire, unquote. And the United States nuclear arm race against the Soviets is, quote, a struggle between right and wrong, good and evil. So God, it seems, is a Cold War militarist who is preparing us for a final nuclear confrontation. A lot of this, of course, was said before the Soviets kept coming and putting everything on the table and saying, come on, let's negotiate and all that. And millions of people got out there and demonstrated and said, go to Geneva and all that sort of thing. He's been dragged kicking and screaming to Geneva, and so now he looks like he's interested, but he has managed to avoid any single arms agreement up to now, and he may very well avoid any arms agreement. Well, they say that the Russians are scared of Reagan, and I don't doubt it because so are many Americans. It's one thing when the fundamentalist Reverend Bailey Smith, then president of the Southern Baptist Convention, tells a right-wing political rally that God, quote, does not hear the prayer of a Jew. God is an anti-Semite, turns out. That is after he converted. It's something else when the President of the United States announces that the United States is, quote, a Christian nation. And this surely must come as news to a loyal citizenry, which includes over 6 million Jews, several million Hindus, Muslims, and Buddhists, and millions upon millions of atheists, agnostics, skeptics, and non-sectarian deists who together probably compose a majority of our people. It's something when Reagan gets up there at his State of the Union message and says, this country and our Constitution could not have been formulated without divine guidance. So I sit there and I'm saying, so God is not only our Father, He's our founding Father. As a matter of fact, the Constitution is very clear on this. The framers at Philadelphia left the deity very much out of it. And when Benjamin Franklin suggested that their daily sessions should open with the prayer asking for divine guidance, they voted it down. And Alexander Hamilton said, we don't need foreign aid. The Constitution is very clear that ours is not a Christian nation. Article 6 reads, quote, no religious test shall ever be required as a qualification to any office or public trust under the United States. And by the way, that was a distinct and democratic advance for one who has a very critical view of the Constitution, who feels it wasn't a very democratically motivated Constitution. Let's say that was a democratic victory for the people. It was even ahead of many state constitutions, which in those days banned Jews, Catholics, and non-believers from holding public office. And of course, the most democratic victory came not with the founding fathers, but with the concession they had to make, they were forced to make because of those democratic forces, and that was the Bill of Rights. When Colonel Mason of Virginia got up and said, let's have a Bill of Rights, that was voted down almost unanimously. I think Massachusetts abstained. Later on, they realized their tactical error, and they realized if they wanted to get this thing ratified, and if they're going to win some kind of popular support for it, they'd better give the people something besides what they gave themselves in the Commerce Clause and all those other goodies and bills and credits and all the other stuff for themselves. They had to give the people something, and they put through a Bill of Rights with the First Amendment. Yet, the Reagan Justice Department is taking a regressive road back toward theocracy. A, ruling that the government can spend taxpayer money to subsidize religious schools. B, supporting a move to amend the Constitution so as to allow teacher-led prayer sessions in public schools. And C, pressuring the religionist crusade against safe and legal abortions. Now, here again, we're witnessing not only the religionist use of politics, but the politicians' use of religion. Take that last issue of abortion. These guys don't care one way or another about abortion. As a matter of fact, they had the opposite position. As a matter of fact, conservatives for years supported legal abortion because their view was that the poor had too many babies and there was too many kids on welfare, so let's have abortions, get rid of those kids. That was their position for years. Ronald Reagan, when he was governor of California, he signed the most liberal abortion bill in the world. And his daughter had an abortion, didn't bother him at all. George Bush supported legal abortions. They've all changed now. They've all come over. And why they came over? Because they found political gold in that area. Because Richard Viguerie got up and said, hey, this is how we can split the Democratic Catholic vote. hey, this is how we can win more of the Protestant fundamentalist vote. And Figueroa even said it. When Reagan appointed Sandra O'Connor, he said, is she soft on abortion? We cannot give up this issue. This issue helps us split the Democrats. I mean, it is the crassest case of political opportunism. Once more, as in Luther's day, using religion as an instrument of maintaining your power, religion as an instrument of class control. And Reaganism has brought forth not only the politically more conservative religious spokesmen, but also the theologically more reactionary ones. Those who evade all real social issues. You can watch these guys on television all day. You'd never know there was something called pollution, or acid rain, or poverty, or exploitation, or unemployment, or inflation, or unfair tax laws, ruinous tax laws. You never get a sense of that. You never get a sense that people are desperate, fighting, trying to stay ahead of themselves, wondering how they're going to get through their old age. You never get any of that. All you know is that you're to blame, you're weak, and all you got to do is open up your heart to Jesus, and it'll all be saved. It'll all be worked out. They have no attention to poverty, oppression, to militarism. What they do is focus on personal pieties, sectarian intolerance, and a kind of prudish, repressive moralism. In the face of all the things we have to struggle with today, they're targeting Playboy magazine. Their message is the same as it's been for centuries, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters. Don't organize and struggle for social justice and against the powers that be, against the powers that exploit you, against the powers that take the money out of your paycheck before you can even get it home. Don't fight against them. Just trust in God and God's love, and above all, keep those contributions coming in. And what a God it is they sell. We already know from reading the Bible that the Judeo-Christian God is vainglorious, sadistic, murderously partisan, vindictive. In fact, if you had a person like that, you wouldn't want to associate with him for 5 minutes, let alone worship him. You might recall that God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, including all the unoffending and innocent children and infants in those cities, because he didn't like the lifestyle of certain of the citizens and what they were doing. He took great satisfaction when his Israelites acted like imperialists and massacred. Read the Book of Kings where he says, and the Israelites slew 20,000. When the first time I read that, I was astonished. I said, my God. And God was pleased. And the Israelites went out and they slew 35,000 and killed them all. And God was happy. I said, my God, what a God. Not my God. And today it hasn't changed all that much to some degree, this whimsical, murderous God. When Mother Teresa, just last year, when Mother Teresa's plane skid on the runway, killing 5 of her admirers who were waiting there to receive it and maiming a whole bunch of others, she got off and she said, this was the will of God. And I'm saying to myself, but this God is Caligula. This God is one of... or some other homicidal mad despot. We also know that God is a terrorist and an extortionist. Listen to Oral Roberts, who says that God's going to zap me unless they come up with 8 million smackers by the end of March. By the way, Oral Roberts made that same plea last year. He said, unless I get it by the end of December 1986, God will take me. And he denied saying it until they produced the tape, the videotape with him saying it. He said, oh, did I say that? Well, I say so many things. The truth is, he says he frantically needs that $8 million for missionary scholarships. That's a lie, ladies and gentlemen. His financial empire is in serious fiduciary trouble. It's been in trouble for a number of years. And he is going to go under, and that's what he needs that money for. It's not God that's after him, it's the bankers. And what transpires in these money-grabbing forays is something right out of the Dark Age. In one TV interview I saw, Roberts was sitting there being interviewed, he and his wife were there, and he was explaining his whole appeal to this other guy who was talking to him. This is about 3 months ago. I saw this on TV, and he said, well, about $3 million come in, and then when the money stopped coming in, Satan appeared. And I'm sitting there saying, what does he mean, Satan appeared? You thought that's bad. Then his wife chimes in. She says, that's right. Satan appeared, and I said, Satan, you get on away here, and you leave my husband alone. You get out of here. And Satan, he just ran off like that. And I said, where am I? And the credulous audience actually applauded. And I said, what is this? Where am I? Is this candid camera? What is this? Am I? a little Johnny Lollipop in Disneyland? Are they talking? I mean, the image of this plucky little woman standing there with perhaps with her rolling pin and chasing off the Prince of Darkness. I mean, it just. I mean, this is something I said, this is the 12th century. Then I thought, they couldn't get away with this in the 12th century. If some priest got up and started talking like that, probably the courier would call him up and say, hey, what's this you're selling? Because they have a monopoly on those kind of contacts. On another occasion, I saw Jimmy Swaggart on TV, fulminating, and going and twitching his frenetic bulk across the stage, back and forth. And he paused at one moment and he says, hold on, as if a celestial long-distance phone call suddenly came and said, God is calling me, and God is telling me something. And then he stopped, and then he told them what it was. I forget, I didn't write it down. But, and I'm sitting there and saying, I can't believe it. This guy actually now claims that he got this message, and they're sitting there believing this, I'd like to can I do an experiment here, please? Would you all just put your hands up like this? Just put your hands up a second. Close your eyes, wave them a little bit. Do you feel it coming down in your hands? Well, I'm working a much harder room than Jimmy Swaggart did, but it doesn't work. I don't have it down yet. All right. Actually, you're giving me some reassurance. Then there's, of course, Pat Robinson, who turned a Republican presidential nominee who turned a hurricane away from his home state with God's direct intervention. And God, if he's anything, is a meteorologist. There's the Baptist minister Everett Sullivan. Now, this guy ran in the Republican primary for governor in Nebraska. 4 candidates, he came in 4th. And a woman won. And worse, to make matters worse, the Democratic nomination, a woman won. So here was the Republican gubernatorial race, 2 women running against each other. So what did Sullivan says? He says, this was a curse, evidence of God's curse. Quotes from the Bible, the good book, right? The good book. Jeremiah plainly tells us that when, I'm quoting Sullivan, Jeremiah plainly tells us that when the people of a nation are willing to accept the leadership of a woman, it is a sure sign of God's curse, unquote. Talk about a sore loser, huh? Well, we always knew God was a male supremacist, too. Now, the point I want to make here is less a theological one than a political one. It's that the crude religionism of the right, it demonstrates not only the obviously anthropomorphic origin of the God image, but also the exploitative, opportunistic use of religion as an instrument of oppression, as an instrument of material acquisition, as an instrument of political power and political privilege. It is not merely that the God hucksters are silly and superstitious, rather they are keenly self-interested, manipulative, and politically powerful. Not only do the religionists preach pie in the sky by and by, but they live high off the hog here and now. While preaching otherworldliness to their followers, they're up to their ears in the crassest pursuits of wealth, power, class interests, and if we can believe what's happening to Jimmy Baker, other crass pursuits. They talk about doing good for others, but they do well for themselves. However, as I say, although history moves, and I'll sort of wrap it up here, although history moves in fitful and often uncertain steps, the general thrust has really been forward. Important democratic victories have been won. Theocratic forces still menace us. They enjoy unexpected resurgence, but they no longer rule over the Western world the way they once did. Even the mullah theocracy in Iran is not as successful as it thought it would be in exporting the Ayatollah's fanaticism throughout the Middle East. And even the Reaganite politico-religionist revivalism is not really doing all that well, neither in Congress, nor in the courts, nor in elections and primaries, nor in the public opinion surveys. Jesse Helms had to quit that big filibuster he was doing for school prayer and all that because he wasn't getting anywhere. Because the response, even from his own state, where people are hurting for real, they're losing their farms, and this guy's sitting up there talking this hocus pocus. He had to retreat on that issue. Also today, in about a third of the world, in existing socialist countries, in communist countries, the oppressive, horrible, totalitarian Congress countries, theocracy has been thoroughly vanquished, which is not to say that religion is prohibited. Every traveler who's gone there, including Billy Graham, says that people are free to practice their religions. I was in Moscow. I was on a tour of political scientists and economists. Ford Greer, another fellow political scientist, sociologist, was on that tour. He can testify. We went into a church And there were all these people, Russian Orthodox Church, they were praying and going on, priests was, and I said, well, if this state is repressing this religion, is doing a sloppy job of it, I must say. And there's freedom for synagogues, churches, for Baptists, Jews, Church of Christ, Roman Catholic denominations. The misrepresentation in the West on this issue, and it's constant that religion isn't free in the USSR or other communist countries. And I think it's again another political use of the religious issue, because for the religionist, communism is a threat. Not only because atheism is not tolerated, but because atheism has an official status as a creed, and this is what the religionists cannot forgive. The Soviet Constitution reads that atheists have the free right to the open and free propagation of their creed. The freedom for an atheist creed. And by the way, in socialist countries, about the only ones I know which explicitly give that constitutional protection to atheists. So it's kind of ironic, you know. In evil totalitarian Russia, atheism has achieved a pluralistic safeguard superior to what is found in our own supposedly democratic pluralistic society. And there's more open, unharassed freedom of belief in communist countries for religious believers than there is for atheists in the USA. We can also witness a new revolutionary development within the ranks of religion itself, especially in Latin America, with liberation theology. And the threat of liberation theology is that it doesn't diminish man to God, but puts him as the center of God's concern, and it also speaks for the interests of a different social class from the one that religionists usually represent. Liberation theology is not for theocracy, but against it. It's not for what the French call le prêtre du double menton, the priest of the double chin. It's for the hungry and the immiserated. To the extent that liberation theology has this democratic social content, it represents an historically progressive development, even if we can still disagree with them theologically about things. It sees, instead of conjuring up a God who is the object of pietistic idolatry and interior imaginings, liberation theology sees God as manifest in social justice, in economic betterment for all the people, a more decent life here on earth, so that the lowliest among us shall be among the best, and the parasitic, the exploitative, the oppressors, the plutocrats, the dictators shall be cast aside. That's really a subversive religion. That's really getting close to what Christianity really pretended it's supposed to be about. And also in the USA, there's a Christian left that's developed, it's emerged, which sides with the poor, with the political refugees from fascism and the peace movement, and which does not support the kind of Reagan restrictions, the kind of breaking down of church and state walls, and the kind of restrictions on other people's creeds. So for some believers, at least, it seems that God is not a jingoist or a militarist or a financier, but he's a pacifist and a progressive and maybe even a revolutionary. So it becomes clear that God is about as good as the people who believe in him, which is understandably so, since he is made in their image. My own view on God is the one that's offered by the great American theologian Woody Allen, who once said that maybe God does exist, but he's an underachiever. Imagine being omnipotent and producing this, right? Tornadoes, plagues, fascists, all these things. Well, what is to be done? 3 short points, then I'll sign off, and I'm sure others will have other things to suggest here. The immediate goals that we might consider worth struggling for: first, we have to get the religionists off welfare. Make the rich churches and the multimillionaire TV evangelists pay a fair share of taxes on their immense holdings and investments. We have to get their hands, their loving, beseeching hands, we have to get those hands out of our pockets. We've got to have them, we have to stop this.
All right, comrades, it's time to fight the hag.
Don't make me fit. You'd best have one hells of an apology for me, young lady. No. You know, but I think God's have me pet sheep.
You know what?
What is it? What's going on? That...
Enough. And
We killed all of the things outside, so it'll just be us and her for up here. But we don't need to kill her up here. It's doing the black screen thing. This happens to me all the time. I get a black screen.
another thin-blooded.
We just need her to disappear.
Bye-bye,
There you go.
Lovelace.
Enough of this. It is time to find the hag and end this game.
Only 832 experience to level 7, comrades. Theory subway surfers, exactly. I think it's effective. I think it's so funny that you just get more and more experience for walking further.
This is my personal.
Ghastly place.
Don't look. Don't.
You feel crushing waves of fear as the images for his she become flee. You weapons.
You let them in? Naughty.
The door stays silent. The door shudders. You see the hag with a jerk.
You can essentially just walk through that door no matter what. Wow. Amazed that he missed me. Oh, he's gone already.
No time to waste.
We'll keep her alive. We'll keep the Mask of Regret alive.
Don't make me hurt them.
Oh, that's why. What's the guy swear? She should not be slipping, I don't think. Lizella slipped twice. Oh, I'm not wearing my right boots. I forgot I switched boots. Let's just put those on. Mask of Regret is alive. There, now I can't slip. She'll show back up in Act 3. first you have one wife cast Feather Falling on everyone. And then you jump all the way where you need to go. This is a pretty difficult boss fight.
There, in the cage.
And our goal is not to kill her, but to get her down to really low. And then steal her hair. Of course, as one does, because then we can eat her hair. And we can give it to Shadowheart. Shadowheart will eat it. Oh! Usually you're able to get all the way over there. Oh, miss. Dang. Would have been a really great way to open. So I'm gonna go precision attack, trip attack. Bonus action surge. No, action, not bonus action. Action surge, sorry. Precision attack. Trip attack. It's 2 points each turn, but I mean, if she were to fall, it would be really useful. Trip attack. Saved on trip attack again. She's already at 58 health. She now has Encrusted with Frost, Reverberation, Ability Strength Drain. If she summons clones, that'll be useful. For that, we may get... One turn.
Wait! Wait just a tick!
Never mind, comrades. One turn, Dessel.
It's a waste of time. I'll find a way to return. Or with her, but it's unpleasant. So, but she's worthless. Shut it! Look, you want to be just...
If her powers...
It's your choice, sweetness.
Fight or Intimidation. I know a beaten opponent when I see one. Give me the power and the girl, and I'll let you live. I don't think I have a... No.
Not a... It's one or the other.
Keep the girl, I'll take the power.
A wise choice. He deals on girl.
Best of luck, Auntie.
Balanced. Bye-bye, pet.
They come soon. Might be a while before there's another chance to rest.
We have... we have to fix ours, because we decided to keep Shadowheart and make it a duo run after we started, but originally we were going to eat the head care for Constitution. But now we have 18 decks. Awesome, comrades. Well, let's see, what time is it? 12 minutes, huh? We're gonna play for 12 more minutes, I guess, and then what we're gonna do is maybe play some Fortnite with Bestie. I got a text at 1:30 it's 1:40 right now, that she was on her way home from work with Chels. We'll see how it goes. I might switch to, I think I'm gonna switch to headset. I don't know if you'll hear me on headset. You know, I haven't done that part yet. It'll be after the ad, though. I'm gonna tell Chelsea to put the. It's locked. Hold on. I think it's locked, comrades. No, my mistake. It was my mistake. It was a push door. It's fun. I call it gay Call of Duty. Comrades. Cold, where is it? There is a teddy bear that you can use to hold stuff in the swamp somewhere. I don't know if you have to. Oh, maybe you tell the frog that you. I can speak to animals. Frog gives us a present. Is it over here? Never fight this frog early on. Comrades, this frog will kill you. That's literally not gay cod, God.
That might be worth a look.
Pouch? No, but it has lots of spells. Where is this bear? Where is this bear? Frog of holding? No, we're not going to use the frog. There's literally a teddy bear you can find in the swamp. No, not that bear. And it's a bag. It's like the book that I'm using for scrolls that I don't have any scrolls in. But it's a bag. Rib cage. You can use one of the I think these rib cages. Yeah, these rib cages are also item containers for some reason. Where is it? See, this is what I mean. I need to put the scrolls. This is what we'll do. We'll wait for Bestie to get home while I organize my inventory.
Squeeze a silk blanket in there and you'd have all the makings of a pleasant.
I can't believe I'm not level 7 yet. I can't do the crush fight until I'm level 7, so I have to fight something else. Oh, there it is. Here's the ribcage. Ribcage is for arrows. Where is it? Okay. Lizelle can't be affected by difficult terrain. Or I guess she is.
Stay vigilant. There are traps here. Trap. Just as I expected.
Shall we increase the sleep counter? bear. Bear in a box. Let's go to camp. And I'm actually gonna get set up on Fortnite and test the headset while we wait for Bestie, I think. Because we have 6 minutes till add missions, I can run it in like a minute. So let's add to the sleep counter.
Eyelids grow heavy, and your heart begins to slow. In the fog of your mind, a single thought sparks. The Zaithist failed you. You should return to the Githyanki crash and speak with the thought fades. And you cross.
Oh, I feel awful. Potions hit me like rancid butter ale.
Alright, comrades. We are saved. We're gonna go to Liberation Radio. And play an ad. Is the game being homophobic? The game is always homophobic. It'll save. It's saved.